Hey, beautiful souls, it's Radha. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to circle back with you and I want to have a conversation with you today about Black magic and how it is something that is being used really a lot in this world right now. The reason why I want to bring it up is because there are a lot of light workers, healers, there's a lot of star seeds and people that are really just doing their own thing, focusing on their art or their whatever it is that they're focusing on, their divine mission, right? That are being attacked, that have been targeted. And I want to talk about why. Why are some people targeted? Okay. And why are the chosen ones targeted? Um, because we got to get this out there. We got to talk about it. They make it into a fantasy in these movies that black magic is a fantasy. It's like Harry Potter. But little did I know that it's actually a rampant thing that has been used in this world on a small scale, from kitchen magic to corporate magic to country magic. To It gets really dark, right? It goes on many, many levels. My experiences with it were actually, my experience with black magic started when I was a little girl, not doing it, but being, I don't like to use the word victim. So being a child who was projected on, being a child that was told things like nobody loves you, and really heavy mind control conditioning to try to alter my consciousness so that I did not feel lovable. And it was one of my caregivers that was assigned to put these dark spells on me. And they would really, like, it took me so many years to work through this dark magic because I didn't know it was magic. I just knew that it felt like they were being dark spells cast over me as a child. And the heaviness and the weight of it is something I carried. And it instead of being able to process it because it was projected onto me at such a young age, what happens is when, like, say for example, if an adult violates a child, there is a form of black magic that occurs through the violation, whether it be verbal, mental, physical, spiritual, or sexual. The reason why is because the adult is actually going in to harvest from the child. They are breaking their spirit, their soul, their barrier, their boundaries in some way in order to access the child's chi or life force energy. And so I had a caregiver that was very much codependent on my light because they had none. And they said really terrible things to me and tormented my little soul to try to continue to feed on me. And that's how this person, she actually fed on me, not my mom, but another caregiver that was a primary caregiver in my life. And so she was doing a lot of witchy black magic on me by telling me no one loves you, you're not good enough, and doing a lot of this stuff, and just kind of like, it felt like she was coding me in this darkness. And that is how I felt growing up, is I felt that all the magic and the beauty that I had inside me was covered in darkness. And I never associated it with being black magic. But in some sense, I now see that this woman in some way had tried to sell my soul, tried to sell my soul, or in exchange for something, money, whatever it was, power. And this happened. So I want to talk about it because it is so important to talk about the weird, crazy stuff that goes on, and everybody wants to ignore it, but that's because everybody's under a spell. So there are spells that are part of the group consciousness, right? There are spells that are individual spells, and there are spells of group consciousness. I was never like some people who, you know, on the receiving end of this black magic as a child, they also learn how to do it. I was not raised like that. I was raised to be a siphoning machine for my caregiver, who was energetically um feeding off of me and feeding off my grief and sorrow and sadness. And so, it's been a long journey of processing that. And later in life, I started to get into energy healing, and I started to learn about soul fragments and taking them back. And I started to go down this road of really pulling back all of myself, all the pieces that were stolen, that were siphoned. And you can do that. And that's what I want to say, is that if you've been on the receiving end of some darkness, you can reverse it all, because it really can't be going on any longer. Like, this stuff is super unethical, for one. And number two, no, no, you don't get to eat my energy, my light as food anymore. That's just not going to work for me. Because it'll leave you really fatigued in life. It'll leave you exhausted. It'll leave you needing energy and depressed and down. And there's so many side effects, I think, that people don't know about from the dark arts and people who practice it. Words are spells. So if someone is telling a child, nobody loves you, you're worthless, that is a spell you're putting on somebody, and you should be charged as such. But being the adults that we are, we learn ways to counter these dark spells. And I realized that actually my whole life people were trying to put spells on me, because I don't know, because I'm a neurodivergent, because I'm autistic, because I'm a starseed. You know, people that have this spark of light, um, there's something in them that others want, that others are very jealous about, because they don't have that spark of light. They choose not to. They choose not to connect to source energy. They pulled their plug from source, so they don't have they're not getting, like, if you plug your phone in, you're going to get charged, but they pulled their charge out, and now they need to charge into you because they chose to pull their cord from the creator. And so I'm here to tell you that's not acceptable anymore, that we're not interested in that anybody who's been experiencing that, it's time to say no. And I have been going through a lot of clearing of black magic, a lot of clearing of projections, and I've been learning so much, and I never wanted to it doesn't even interest me to learn about, but I've had to learn about it because I've been going in to the Akashic Records, learning about what's been going on, what's been going on to me and to people I love and to my clients, and how to clear out this garbage, because it's garbage, right? It's garbage. It's time to break all the illusions. It's time to reclaim our sovereignty, and it's time to stand in our light without having to feed parasites. Okay. So I remember, I'm going to tell you a story about, like, when I had a really weird experience in Hollywood. Again, minding my own business, doing my own thing. I had a friend that was a producer, and he wanted me to help him produce a paranormal show. So he started to put it together, started to put the team together. And we had a meeting one time at my home, and he brought with him this woman. And I remember seeing her and just feeling like, ooh, bad vibe, bad vibe. And I was like, why did he bring her? He didn't even tell me about her. Right. And I didn't have anything romantic going with him. We are just friends, just work partners. Right. So she comes in. I didn't like her energy, because everything that we had worked on creating for the show, it was she was like countering everything. Like, she's like a chaos agent, somebody that comes in and, like, you have all your plans, and they come in and they just knock everything down. They turn everything inside out. They invert everything. I didn't know, I didn't really understand that before. I just knew, I feel like she's destroying this project and it's going backwards instead of forwards with her energy, because the thing about a lot of these people is that they're inverted, right? Their energy's inverted. They don't feed from source, so they feed from you. If you have a lot of light inside you, and they also feed off of creating chaos. They feed off creating pain and suffering for others. And I didn't realize that that's exactly what she was doing. He literally brought in somebody who was destroying and sabotaging the project. And I was just horrified because I was like, what do I tell him? Because he believed in her because she had obviously done enough black magic that he was so enchanted by her or whatnot. And sadly, um, he ended up dying like a horrible death. And I think it had a lot to do with him being in proximity to this person. Um, I tried, like, I was in my nice girl phase at that time. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm misjudging her. Let's go out to lunch. Let's try to get on the right foot. And so I took her out. I picked her up in my car, took her out to lunch, and she wanted to go pick up some chocolates or whatever. I took her to her favorite place. Like, I'm like, what is going on? I feel like a sugar mama here, but I was taking her around, and I was hoping we could like be cool because we're going to work on this project together, and I was really envisioning the project taking off. Unfortunately, like I said before, he passed away, the producer, and so the project melted away with her and him. But in the meantime, she had other plans for me, and I didn't know about it. I didn't know that she was into black magic. Okay. I had no idea, but I did know that I started getting some weird feelings. Like, I started to hear animals crawling on my ceiling. And my mother was in my home in Studio City, and she also heard it too. It's like they were really loud on the roof. So I was like, okay, what's going on? I started getting the vibe. I got the vibe. I got the vibe that there was some bad juju going on. So I started going into prayer. I just was praying and praying for protection and asking Creator to cover me in that light and doing my whole, energy healing thing that I do. So I did that. And then I just went to sleep and I felt great, right? And the next day I woke up feeling good. But then I got a phone call, and it was her. It was her. She called me and she's like, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh." And she literally confessed to me that she had been sending me black magic all night, and it got sent back to her. And it didn't just get sent back to her, that her whole entire kitchen sink threw up in her kitchen. Like, something happened where it got backed up, and while she was doing the black magic, she wasn't even in the kitchen. The whole thing just threw up all the food in there, and it just threw up all over the floor. And she came in and got some on her too. I was pretty shocked because I was like, okay, why are you even telling me this? This is crazy. Like, why were you doing black magic? But I realized that by her calling and doing that confession in the very strange way that she did, like completely honest, that she was actually asking for atonement or to be forgiven. And I there's not much I could say. Just like, wow, okay, well, thanks for telling me. Like, what can you really say about that? So that was a time that really confirmed, like, wow, what I thought was bad vibes really was bad vibes. It wasn't just like my imagination. And also, it also confirmed to me the power of prayer, how important it is to pray. How important it is to give thanks, how important it is to pray, that it actually creates a covering over you, and that you are so divinely protected um, if you do. And again, this happened again with a photographer who had, I guess he developed some romantic feelings for me. I didn't feel it on my end. I was just like, yeah, let's do some creative photo shoots. Let's do it. We did some great photo shoots, and I kept feeling him pulling at my energy. So I basically went away for one weekend. He kept calling me and I was just ignoring his calls because I'm like, dude, I'm going on a vacation. I don't really owe you anything. You're not my boyfriend. I'm doing my own thing. And when I came back, my whole home was filled with flies. Yeah, like thousands of flies. And I was like, what is going on? But I immediately got the hit that he was doing some kind of revenge black magic on me because I wasn't taking, I guess, his offer, which was very elusive and there was no directness to it. It was like beating around the bush. And furthermore, I didn't even want him or his offer. I was like, I like to create art, beauty. It was, fun to do photo shoots. So that ended up being a disaster. And I confronted him about it, and it was like a big explosion. But later he came back into my life and we met again to have like a meal. And then he was trying to get me to join basically the cabal, like literally asking if I would join the cabal. And then I put two together, like, dude, you like did this crazy magic, like you're doing magic in the cabal. Like, I don't think so, bro. So that was weird. But then I'm going to be doing a story that's totally separate about meeting a man, a celebrity who has been doing black magic on me for over a decade and trying to destroy my life. Okay. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's so silly and just outlandishly crazy. Like, dude, get a life, man. And like, stop it. People don't realize that they get karma. See, a lot of the times the creator is using you. If you're a being, if you're a chosen one, if you're a light worker, if you're a healer, if you're a star seed, the creator is using you, and the creator uses you like bait. Like, you're this cute little sweet little thing, that is loving. And it's true. Yeah, we love people. We came here to be of service, but we didn't come here to be abused. And a lot of times these predators who use these darker arts and things like that, they think you're just this cute cuddly thing that they can come in and absolutely destroy your life or use black magic or manipulate you like you're a marionette on some strings, not realizing that just because you're sweet and loving literally does not mean you don't have an army of creators, warriors behind you. Like, literally, you're protected, you're covered, and that when they come for you, they have no idea the consequences that they have waiting for them because you didn't do anything to evoke it. You didn't ask for it. You're not meddling in the dark. You're not doing all this witchcraft hoodoo stuff. You're just minding your own business, trying to just be creative, say high vibe, do your thing. And they're trying to like bring trauma into your life because that's literally how they attach to you, is they create trauma, and then they try to mess with your chakras. And I mean, it's pathetic, like really pathetic. All they have to do is connect with source energy, and then they can have their own light. They don't need yours. Anybody can have their own light. You just have to connect with source energy. Okay. You don't need to plug into other people and siphon them. And that's one reason why children are targets, because they carry so much light. They have the light of God inside them, of creator, source, the divine, all of that sparkling inside them. And these predators want to come in and plug into their sockets and just, like siphon them to death, literally. And some people do it for years. So if you have someone in your life that has been abusive to you as a child, they were probably siphoning off of you, and they could still very well be. And so it's really important to check it out and see, and like muscle test, ask God to show you, ask creator to show you. For me, I was trained in the healing arts, so I can muscle test. I ask, is anybody currently siphoning from me? Is anybody currently doing any voodoo, witchcraft, black magic on me? And it's not an emotional thing. It's just like a yes or no. And if it is a yes, then I simply clear it out. And you can call judgment on these people, you guys. Like it's time for us to call judgment on these people, because they cannot keep getting away with this. And it's time to say no. And it's time to realize that you have the power. It's not outside of you. These people doing this nonsense, it's not in them. They don't even have enough power that they need to use you to charge. And so that's not real power at all. Because if they had real power, they would not need your power, right? They would not need your life force energy to fuel them as gas, as anything. They literally would not need that. They are so powerless and sad because they disconnected from source that they literally have to connect into another living being that carries the light within them from creator, right? All things come from the creator. It's very basic. I mean, it's not hard to figure out. So it's important that you stay vigilant, that you ask yourself, does it feel like anybody's pulling at my energy? You can muscle test, and maybe sometime I will show you how to. I definitely teach that in my courses and things like that. So you can also learn from me if you'd like me to mentor you. But I'm all about clearing cords, calling back your soul fragments, and doing protocols, protection protocols that protect you so you don't have to keep going through this torture, because it's ridiculous and it's not necessary. We have all the tools we need to protect ourselves. So I'm probably going to be doing a protection course about spiritual warfare and protection. And if you'd like to join, just reach out to me and I'm happy to add you to the class. Okay. So that being said, I will not tell you the craziest of stories, but one of my family members, my cousin, has decided to join the dark cabal, dark coven, whatever you want to call it. It's all really the same energy. It's the energy of them trying to become overlords over your life, trying to take from you, siphon from you, steal all your blessings, your timeline, all the things that are meant for you, because you're a divine being. They know that they are doing wrong in the eyes of the creator. Therefore, they want to take from those beings such as you and I. And I have been dealing with this for quite a long time. I've actually learned so much about it, and I'm going to be sharing about it in the next videos. But my main message that I want to share is that you are not a victim, okay? You may have gone through many, many things like I have that felt very harsh, right? Very painful, a lot of betrayal, and a lot of manipulation, and wondered why. Why did I have to go through all of that? What is it that why is it the creator wanted me to experience these things? And I'm here to tell you it's because you needed to know your personal power. Because if you were anything like me, because of the way that I was indoctrinated as a child through my abuse, I learned to give my power away. In fact, it was almost like a mind control that I was not allowed to keep my power. I was not allowed as a child to have my own voice, to have my own power. I was under the power of someone else. And so my whole life, I've been going through a boot camp to learn how to get my power back, how to get back all my soul fragments, how to clear out all the siphoning cords, how to start healing the fragments that were created inside me, how to start bringing my soul back into my body, how to start taking up space. I mean, I had to go through a rigorous training program. It seems like it never ended. And really, 2024 is when it really ends. This is graduation day for me. And the eclipse was a big part of that, the gang stalking and all of this abuse that has been made my life feel for some time, you know, it really affected my root chakra, right? And so that's another thing. They go after your root chakra. But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I learned powerful tools. I I created a bond with a creator that is unbreakable. I activated a legion of army of angels that protect me. I mean, it's incredible. I learned actually how powerful I am. And that's not like, oh, I'm so powerful. It's just, no, really, you are too. It's not like I'm more special or anything like that. It's just that I was under a hypnosis for most of my life, that I was nothing, I was worthless, et cetera, et cetera. All the horrible things you can ever feel about yourself, I was under that mind control. And so breaking the spell has been one of my biggest missions in this life so that I can help other people like you do the same because enough is enough. And it's time now. The green light has come on, especially after this eclipse. And I can tell you, things have shifted big time, big time. And I want you to trust that things are starting to move in your favor if you are on your path, even if it feels like you fall down off your path. This has nothing to do with perfection. There is no perfection in this world except in nature, really, like these roses behind me. Like, you know, even the most perfect thing comes and goes, right? We're only here as visitors. But when we have so much coming against us, when we have so much, you're like, why are they investing so much in trying to take me down? My family, people I met in Hollywood, you know, um, strangers that I don't even know, gang stalkers. Like, dude, am I that important that you guys all want to come after me? Every time I go out, you're there trying to intimidate me. But I'm not intimidated. I don't feel it. I'm like laughing at them now because that is a sad existence. That is a really sad existence. One where you literally have to go out and stalk people to get your life force energy because you have none. You're cut off from God. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And I don't have to experience that because I am connected to Source Creator. And there have been times where I felt doubt, where I felt alone. I felt all those feelings and more, so many more. I mean, hopeless at times, but I realize now that everything was actually being done for me. And I want to say the same for you, that if you're watching this, if you're watching this and you've been going through some of the things I've gone through, things are being obstacles have been put in place for you because you had to learn how strong you are to be able to move them out of the way or rise above them. And that once you do, no one can take you down. You know, no one can really take you down. People can spread lies, and that's happened to me, malicious lies spread by my own family whom I took my shirt off my back and I gave them food, I gave them shelter, I gave them love, and they turned around and tried to take my life, my destiny. Mm-mm. No, that's not how it's going to roll anymore, you guys. If anybody in your life is trying this on you, it's a 1-800 no. It's a no. And you have to really, really understand that, like, not just think it, but you actually have to know it deep in the core of your soul. Because when you say no, no, I do not consent, right? I do not consent. And I think I'm going to do a video. I think I'm going to do a video about calling judgment because it's time that you start calling judgment on the wicked. people, or not, they're not even people, the wicked beings that are using these bodies. Because the person that I loved so much, my family member that I loved and I supported for so many years, who came against me with an army of dark witches, warlocks, voodoo priests and priestesses. And, some of these people have come to me and confessed. The people that came against me, the people who did the darkest death spells on me, they've really done them. But I'm still here. And they actually came to me and told me about it. Okay? Because they felt that the karma coming back at them was unbearable. And when you stand in your truth and you stand in your power, the wicked ones cannot come in anymore, because the hand of God is taking control of your life. And all you have to do is ask, the creator. And I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't do that. Like, my relationship with the creator is my own relationship with the creator. Okay. Everyone has their own relationship. I don't have to be dogmatic about it, but the creator loves me and I love the creator. And that's enough, It's powerful. I pray every single day of my life. And if you are going through anything that I'm going through, I'm praying for you that you will realize why you're here, that you have a purpose, and that your obstacles are here to show you how amazing and strong you are. And that the divine always delivers. May not be in our timing, but the divine really is on our side, and there is nothing to fear except for fear itself. That is the truth. I have faced fear so many times. I have had gang stalkers that have been very confrontational, that have come right in my face. And you just have to laugh. You have to laugh. That's a lot of effort. I mean, I can't imagine getting in my car, going to a restaurant and sitting right in front of somebody because I needed to suck their life force energy. Like, that's sad. That is not an existence worth living. That's not an existence worth living. And all they're doing is making the chosen ones stronger. So I hope that you realize how strong you are. You've come this far. Do not give up. Don't give up. Because that's the one thing they want you to do, is to hurt yourself, self-sabotage, take your own life. Do not do that. Do not do that, because that is actually a sin, to take your own life. And I don't really like that word, but it ain't good. Because what happens if you do something like that, you end up just hovering. You end up hovering and having to stay in this earthly plane, and you don't get to go to a higher place or receive the love. Like, you're haunted in your own existence. So that ain't it. You came here to be strong. You came here to be powerful. You came here to be a warrior of light. You came here to face every single challenge that came before you. And you came to rise above it. And you came to show them how it's done, not to just be a victim. It's okay to have been a victim. Like, it's okay to say, hey, I've been a victim. But it's also our job to transmute that victimhood into victory. Okay? We didn't come here just to be a doormat for the dark. We didn't come here just to be a feeding food for the dark. And you have to start really evaluating the people around you and what their intentions are, and how are they interacting with your energy. When you talk to them, do you get more tired? When you talk to them, do you feel like they are grilling you? Like, a monitoring spirit would, because they're putting seeds of doubt in you by asking you, are you sure? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Like, no, that energy is not going to be in my field. You can go do that on your own time, but you're not going to get a phone call from me. You're just not. I don't deal with people who are monitoring spirits or carry monitoring spirits. I don't deal with people who play with the dark, because I don't play with the dark. I play. Now I play with them because I can play and laugh, and I can just see it for what it is. The truth is, the dark is so needy, so weak, so hungry, so desperate. Desperate is the number one word I'd use. So desperate. They want to get in your field. They want to get into your energy. They want to plug into you. Don't let them. Feel into your body. Is there anything in my chakras that is plugged into me that shouldn't be there? And, so a couple things you could do right off the bat is go into your shower, take a nice warm shower, and take some salt. And I like to put salt with like some oil, jojoba oil or something, and then you just like literally scrub your whole body, everything. And the salt, and as you're scrubbing it, say, anybody's energy, I'm just washing it away. But the thing is, we have to be responsible for healing our core wounds. It's not our fault that people betrayed us and did horrible, horrible things, but it is our responsibility to heal by any means, but not by hurting others, but by taking responsibility for that. So where is it that you feel shame in your body, in your heart, in your mind, in your soul? Where is it that you're feeling guilt? Because we got to get to those places, because it is those core wounds. And that is why they also make those wounds inside of you, because they use those wounds as feeding grounds. So when you say no, I'm gonna put some healing elixirs in these wounds, and I'm gonna start healing them. I'm going to feel to heal. And part of that is actually acknowledging that certain things that happened, opening your eyes to see the truth. And that can be the hardest thing in the world when you are just on your awakening journey. Like, I did not want to see the horror because it's so painful. But guess what? Once you open your eyes, it's not scary anymore. It's only scary when you keep your eyes shut and you try to evade what's really going on. I didn't want to see that people were using me. I didn't want to see that I was being mistreated. I didn't want to see that my ex that was abusive was not worthy of me, because there was a little inner child that really wanted love and was willing to compromise in relationships for that love. And those compromises never lead to anything good. Anytime you compromise yourself and what you value, it's really downhill. It's really downhill. Like, you're going to get punished for that. Not because there's an evil God punishing you, but your higher self is going to whoop your butt and say, no, you're not meant to be in that kind of relationship. Like, it doesn't matter. We have to learn to also be alone. We have to learn to love ourselves. Like, it doesn't matter if you gain 10 pounds, lose 10 pounds, whatever. You are going to be with you for the rest of your life, not anybody else. I mean, it's great if we have a life partner. That's wonderful. But don't try to make your partner give you everything that you didn't get. You need to be able to give yourself some of that and feel at least whole enough that you know that you're worthy of something good in this life. And that means going down into those ugly places and doing the work, doing the shadow work, doing the energy healing, getting a session with Maya the shaman. She's amazing. Get a healer that you know has been through spiritual warfare, and that they can help you, because I don't really trust the fluffy ones. The ones that are like, oh, I've gone to those healers before and they literally couldn't do anything. I was way more advanced than they were because, they weren't willing to look at the shadow. And so I am always willing to look at the shadow. And it is from acknowledging my own shadow, looking at my darker side too, that I'm able to transmute. And this is how we rise. This is how we own all of ourselves instead of only part of ourselves. Because if we're just like nice all the time, that's dangerous. I don't want to be nice all the time because that's not who I am. If I'm getting treated right and this is a good situation, I'm a good person. But if I'm being mistreated and it's not a good situation, I'm not going to be a sweetheart. Why should I? We have to own our shadow. And there's a danger in not owning your shadow, because if you don't own your shadow, you can't also own your light. And when you can't own your light, you can't protect yourself. It is only through the Creator's love and grace and through owning all of us and really starting to look at those real deep core wounds so that we can heal. Because if we do not, unfortunately, we keep attracting and getting stuck in these patterns. So this is not a lecture to say that anything is wrong with you. This is just a reminder that something is so right with you, and that if you have been going through a tormenting experience, it is not because you are bad, because you are wrong, because there's something wrong with you. It is because perhaps you are more divine than you ever realized. And it's time for you to start exploring that and start accepting that about yourself. And stop trying to make other people love you the way that you need to be loved, or, compromising yourself. It's time for you to start loving yourself. Like either way, I'm fine. Either way, I'd prefer this, but I'm still good. Either way, I'm good. You have to come to a place of detachment, because that is also another thing, is the dark will always use so usually the people that you're very close to bring forward portals of darkness and entities because they haven't worked on themselves. And then they become the enemy because they're being used. But at that point, we have to detach ourselves. There's no more compromising in that relationship. And, that's why I've had to cut a lot of relationships out of my life, because they were being used as portals of the dark. And that was only after, becoming friends or becoming, close to these people. So I've had to learn to detach a lot in my life. And it doesn't mean that I'm cold. I'm very warm and loving, but I've learned that the creator has made me strong, and you are strong too. You are loved, you are worthy. And I'm praying for you. I'm praying that you will remember who you are, because that's when the illusion starts to break. There's an illusion, but it's not the truth. Reclaim yourself, reclaim your parts, reclaim your heart, reclaim your soul, reclaim all of you, your soul fragments. Reclaim yourself, reclaim your innocence. That's something that is so important and it's so protective, is our innocence. We must not lose that. We could go through a lot, but it doesn't matter. The innocence still lives inside of us, in our heart and our mind. And we continue to honor that innocence and know that innocence is not foolish. That innocence sees the beauty in life and has gratitude and still has that playful excitement. And we should never lose that. So with that, I will let you all go. And I just want to wish you much love and blessings. And remember, you are so worthy. You are so worthy of feeling safe, of loving yourself, and of staying protected and in clean energy. You don't have to compromise yourself. So I will be teaching a class on spiritual warfare, and I think it's going to be amazing and powerful. And I will teach you every single tool and technique I have ever learned. And trust me, I've learned a lot. So I will put that information down below, and I'm sending you much love. Blessings. Bye for now.